We're back.
Happy New Year. Happy 2026, everyone.
Happy New Year. Very professional, Tyler. I love that. Very good. Yeah, Happy New Year, everyone. There's been 2 games since we last saw each other. 2 games, home and away, same lineup, same result, very different vibes. Were you at both?
Yeah, I was at both. Yeah.
Can you talk me?
Coventry for me 24 from Blackburn away.
Can you talk me through the journey to Blackburn? Because it sounds like absolute hell.
Yeah, it was. I mean, I checked, I think, about a month or so in advance, and the trains were just absolutely done in all the way up there. Like, there's so many stops. I think the first train would have got into Blackburn at 2:30. So it was like the only way you're getting up there is by driving on the coach. So I went with good old Joshua Wilcox and Ben Piles, went up with them. Josh drove the whole way there. God bless him.
Can I just say, that is 2 very unfortunate surnames, isn't it? Wilcox and Piles. When you're doing a long journey, we've all been there. We're all sitting in a cold car. How are they? How's Josh getting on?
Yeah, they're good, man. They're doing well. Of course, Josh is doing his thing with Leighton Orient, and it's going really well for him. Yeah. And then Ben as well. But yeah, that journey up was long, but we made do with a few tins in the car at 7 a.m, getting the Woolwich ferry up past the Thames and driving all the way up the motorway. A few stops on the way up there, and it was a good laugh and a good day all round.
Until
the football started.
yeah. So I was at I managed to get to Coventry at home. For all the results we had, them scoring 2 minutes in, I wanted to take my daughter again, but I was like, I don't know if I can do that to her. She's had that amazing experience at Oxford. I don't know if I really want to set her up to then go and see us get absolutely battered by Coventry. But it was kind of exactly what we needed. We put in a great performance. Rankin Costello, I mean, what a player he is. Unbelievable. And Nathan Jones even made like a little jokey comment like, oh, the management have got to look at themselves and not play him earlier. Well, yeah, because he's really good, and we've been shit for a long time. Like, I think about 5 or 6 games there, we were really not doing anything. What were your? Should we have a quick look at that? Obviously, we know the lineup because it's been the same for both games. What did you think when you saw that lineup? Obviously, Berry's been getting in that team, and for me, that screams of he just wants to show some experience in that middle where maybe that's what we've been lacking. But Costello for me, that was the big one where I was like, really? And he was just that, like, fantastic, something completely different that we've not seen before.
Yeah, I think it was the same team from Portsmouth, which didn't surprise me, to be honest. The fact Berry's been involved in the team has got a lot of stick from the fans, hasn't it? Considering that he shouldn't really be the starting 10, so to speak, because we signed Carey and Nibs, should really be the last result. But to be honest, I felt against Portsmouth he did pretty well, and I think against Coventry he wasn't awful, so to speak. I think the effort was there, but you could tell that he perhaps wasn't the player that he once was, and he's not really sort of up to the Championship level anymore. But with Nibs and Carey not exactly on the best of form, you can understand why Berry got in. And then Rankin Costello, he played really well against Portsmouth, and then against Coventry he was excellent, absolutely brilliant, deserved man of the match. He was outstanding. It just makes you think, like, where has he been this whole time? It took him some time to get underway because he was poor at the start of the season. He was not good at all, and he just sort of took his time to get in the team because everyone else was playing so well. And now the midfield has just tailed off massively. The opportunities come in for him because Jones wants to change it, and he's suddenly turned into, like, he's so good. He's deceptively good with the ball at his feet. He can drive the ball forward. He gets tackles, and the run he done for the goal as well. Like, he makes the tackle inside their box and runs the whole length of the pitch. Kelman should really score, but Rankin Costello is there to put it away. Deserved his goal. So happy for him, and it's now finally starting to come good. And I think lineup, I'm not all too surprised by that, to be honest. But I think Rankin Costello was the big one for me. He's been excellent, really.
I think when I looked at it, I was like, okay, sticking with, like you said, what we did well at Portsmouth, although good performance, bad result. So I was, I wasn't thinking, he's definitely got to stick with that, because we leaked a goal in the last minute and
then kind of look at that.
Exactly. Yeah. So you're like, well, obviously it's a bit leaky, but we really steadied the ship, and they did have a few decent chances. But the main thing for me was, they have fallen off a bit of a cliff, Coventry, if you look at their last 3 results now.
Yeah.
Like, they don't look the force they were. I don't know whether that's just you get a bit lethargic because you're so far ahead, or it's just a case of You know, they got a lot of players, but are they getting a bit tired? It's Christmas time as well. I looked at ours, and the big thing for me was just that we just seem to be all over him. We just seem to do, I know it's such a cliche, do the basics well, get the ball up top. Miles as well. I think Miles just won everything in the air. The guy sitting next to me wasn't too keen on him, but I was like, well, he's doing what he's supposed to do. He's winning every header in the air. He's winning everything. I think there's only a couple of times he got beaten, and there was some big defenders they had at Coventry as well. Like, I didn't think there was anyone there that didn't have a good game. But from what we've been talking all the way up, I just can't understand what. It's really difficult because we played well, but I don't think TC is good enough in that position. I don't think he's. I don't think. Are we just completely mental to keep on harping on about this Apter thing? But we just look so much stronger when TC comes on, and we look stronger with Apter in that position. I don't understand what I'm not seeing.
Yeah, it just feels like a broken record, doesn't it? We just keep saying it all the time, but the point still stands. You know, I mean, I don't think TC was too bad against Coventry. It's just we know that isn't his position, and we know that his role is coming off the bench and making an impact. And I know a lot of people have made a lot of noise in terms of like, oh, he's not been played in the right position. And Jones has said, I've got no choice but to play him because of injuries. And I'm like, well, you do, because you've got Apter, you've got Fuller, you've got a left back that you signed in Jerome Resilient. And I know he ain't played in ages, but you know, the options are there. You don't have to play TC. You can rest the kid. And as we've seen in the last few games, his best impact is off the bench. I think every time he's come off the bench, he's got a goal contribution. Like, that just speaks volumes, doesn't it? And Apter was excellent against Oxford, both attackingly and defensively. And he got rewarded by being benched. And he hasn't played since then, pretty much. And it's just, it continues to baffle me. But yeah, I think, to be honest, against Coventry, TC actually didn't do too badly. It was the other side, James Bree, for me. His set pieces were absolutely atrocious and continued that theme at Blackburn. It was just, I don't get it. I don't understand how you can be so bad at taking a corner.
I quite like the fact that Nathan isn't being too loyal to players like Carey or, you know, or even Berry. You know, Berry's part of that team that got us up, and he came out in the beginning. But it seems to be this weird loyalty to have James Bree take every free kick, every corner. And yeah, they were great. Like, he was so good for like probably about 5, 6, maybe even 7 games. And it's just completely dropped off a cliff again. I know he played one good ball in that created a chance against Blackburn. Yeah. But other than that, everyone seems to hit the first man. Everyone just doesn't seem to reach anyone. And you've got Miles Leeburn and Lloyd Jones in there, and Gillespie, who, can I say, I really noticed it at Blackburn, has got the biggest head I have. It's like watching the South Park. Like, you know, did you ever have that game in South Park where they all had the really big heads? Like, you could get actually, it's mental how big that guy's head is. Like, it's unbelievable. And then no one even challenges it in the box. I just can't understand how he can be that loyal to players like Bree and TC and then not to others. It just seems really odd. Do you think it's that there's something we're not seeing in the training ground?
I don't know. I mean, it could be that, but I think the fact that Jones has worked with Bree before at, I think, both Luton and Southampton has got something to do with it as well. You know, and that goes for a number of other players. I mean, Berry, Burke, Bell. You know, it goes to, you know, he likes his own players and he keeps continuing to play them. But I mean, the problem we've got at the moment is we don't really have a set piece taker. I mean, Coventry was our old one, and we'd say his wasn't very good, but they were better than Bree's at the very least. At least they beat the first man and they got into the box.
Am I right in thinking when Apter was playing, he was taking quite a few of them as well and delivering goods?
I think so.
Yeah,
I think you're right, and his weren't too bad either.
No. So there are options there. And Gillespie scored one in the bloody final. Like, what would you want to do? Like, if you're looking for loyalty, like, that's another one who he was just like, yeah, thanks very much for getting to see you out. And then we need him. He's back in. He's had a bit of stick, and he's maybe not as mobile as, you know, the rest of that defence, but you can always rely on him. Apart from when the header to keep that game going against Coventry right in the last seconds, I could have killed him, but. Other than that, like, he just seems to be a solid player to me. That's someone you can rely on if you want to wind the clock down. Yeah, I mean, it's just really frustrating, this Bree thing. I can only think that he wants to keep him sweet until the 17th and hope maybe that he can pay a small fee for him against for Southampton. That's the only thing I can think.
Well, I mean, he's like, I mean, the fan opinion of him now has gone down massively. Like he went from like one of the best players on the team sheet to now, do we actually get him back when his loan expires on the 17th? You know, I mean, that's the question we got to ask. You know, because that's when it expires. You know, what do we do? Do we bring him back on loan to the end of the season? Do we get him back on a permanent on a cheap fee, or do we just leave him and send him back to Southampton where he's probably going to rot in the reserves? Like it's a difficult one. I mean, I think we know what's going to happen. Jones probably is going to bring him back, but it depends on what sort of deal. But I mean, if Bree was to come back, I think it's clear that we need competition on that side. I mean, it sounds simple because we've got Apter already there, but it's clear that Apter just ain't getting the game. So I just think we need another natural right wing back to play that position to give Bree a bit of competition, because at the moment he's just not delivering, and we've got no choice but to play him because we've got no options
apart from Apter.
Apart from Apter, he doesn't play.
It's just mad, isn't it? I think you're absolutely right. I think that fan opinion has changed. I think we need to get someone else in there. But the problem is the January transfer window is so difficult to get the players in that are going to level you up rather than just someone who isn't playing for their team. I don't think that decision is going to be made till right at the end. I mean, we've seen it in so many windows. And to be fair to him, we've said it before. This is the first time in a very long time that we've got a manager with a clear idea. He's been in the building a long time and a board that's backing him. I just don't know how much money we've got. This is the thing. And I don't know how you feel, but when I really struggle to see what's in it for owners outside of a fan, because there's not a lot of money to be made. I know we've seen it, like they've seen it with Wrexham. I think they paid 2 or 3 million and it's now worth 330 million or something like that. But that's one in very, very few cases that can happen. So I don't see what the Americans are getting out of this. If they're, you would have got a bit of money for a promotion, unless you're trying to get to the Prem, where's your profit coming from?
Exactly.
So then they have to spend big again. If the main thing is just to keep us in the league. And it is something I want to come on to a bit later about, how precarious our position is. But, and we'll obviously look at transfers as well. But I think that with Bree and fans losing faith in him, I'm saying it to you now that I'd rather have Apter play in that position. I'd also rather have Bree in the squad. I'd much rather have him there if we need him to come on for Apter, who's been delivering. That's the way round I'd have it. You haven't got any experience with Apter. He's not as good a defender as Bree is. I think that's what Bree's been good at. He does look more defensively solid. But that doesn't mean you have to take every dead ball. That doesn't mean you have to take every free kick, every opportunity like that. I'd rather have Apter on him, and I'd rather have him getting the ball into the box to Leeburn to knock it down for Kelman, and that just doesn't seem to be happening at the moment enough.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that. I think I'd have Bree as part of the squad just as an option, because he's got that experience and did play well in the early part, but he's just faded away with the rest of the team and hasn't really recovered since then. Like you say, he doesn't have to take every dead ball. We have got other options that can play that. And ultimately, Apter, well, we know how harshly treated he's been this season. I know it's technically not his position, but at the very least, he's looked good in that position in the games he has played for the most part. I also raised the question as to whether he could play on the left and take TC out of the equation, because ultimately, I mean, TC's just not delivering on that side either. As much as some Charlton fans seem to think that, we should keep playing him. But it's just a question we need to ask. The wing backs are the biggest area of concern. I think Edwards getting injured was the worst thing that could have happened to this team, because we just haven't recovered since then. We should really have addressed the problem in the summer, but we didn't. And we kept faith in Josh, and he got injured, and it's just killed us on that side now. And now we're stuck with wingers effectively who can't play that position well. I mean, and then an Apter who's again done very well, but just isn't getting the minutes. And you got Bree's performance levels have dropped. TC's only good off the bench. So that's the problems. I'd imagine that Jones has got his targets. I mean, he said he knows who we want, and we knows what we're going to try and get. So clearly he's got a plan in place. It's just a question of what positions is he looking to strengthen, how much money has he got, and will we actually get the players in, and will they improve us, and not just, integrate into the team just because they're not playing at the moment. We need someone that can improve us, but that's the January transfer window. It's difficult to find anyone who can improve us at this stage.
And he's also sleeping at a training ground as well, which I find the most mental thing I've ever, in a championship team, on the money he's on. Pay for the Premier Inn up the road, mate. It's 5 minutes. It's honestly, I know that traffic's a nightmare at Five Ways, but Jesus Christ, it's literally, you can see it basically from the training ground. Just pop in there overnight. I couldn't believe it when he said that. They must have it.
I'm hoping he doesn't mean it literally. He's just saying it that he's just trying to get, loads of transfers in, and that just shows how much work he's putting into. But if he is actually sleeping at the training ground, then that is a bit mental.
Listen, I don't think Nathan Jones is a liar, right? I think that's a guy who is truthful. I think he's tired and he just thinks this is going to be easier than getting. I mean, where does he live? It's not. Don't tell me he's commuting back to Wales every night. Like he must have moved down here or have a hotel or something. So sticking on that game, I mean, it was your birthday as well. Was it a nice little birthday treat? The draw, did it seem like a birthday treat, or did it seem like we kind of missed an opportunity to win against a Frank Lampard team that are flying at the top of the league?
No, I think we'd have taken that point. I think it was a good part of a good little birthday. I was hanging the morning after New Year's Eve. I was in bits. I nearly didn't make the game. I was struggling to get out of bed. But I was like, do you know what?
Wow.
I eventually got up and I was like, it's Charlton, I've got to do it. And I eventually got there. And I was glad I went because it was a good point. Second half performance in particular made it worth it. I think that was really good. A lot of people thought we was good in the first half. I didn't think our first half performance was all that, to be honest. I felt it was obvious that Coventry were the better team and they just looked better than us and we just couldn't really do anything. And then suddenly in the second half, we just come out guns blazing and just attacked them. And it was like, blimey, like that just shows what we can do. So yeah, it was a good part of a good birthday and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed my day.
We seem to be a bit of a rope-a-dope team at the moment. Like we just like when we've seen our best performances, against Ipswich, teams like that. We seem to the first half just seems to be taking all the blows, like sucking up all that pressure, and in the second half, go and play. I guess the only issue with that is that when you got Kelman starting, who again has been like his form is unbelievable when you look at the figures.
Yeah,
like bringing on Alafe, I thought did well. Nibs, I thought did well as well. Sonny Carey again. That ball that he could have played through to, I can't remember. I think it was Kelman.
Yeah,
or maybe it was Miles.
It was Nibs, the one on.
It was Nibs. It just said he was just behind him, and I was like, oh my god, I was pretty much in line with it. And you're like that anywhere else, you could have taken a shot. We know he can shoot from there, and the keeper wouldn't have been expecting it, or you just play it in front of him. I was just so frustrated, and I love Sonny Carey. I think he's been such a good. He's come in with the right attitude. He's hit the ground running, but we're really not seeing that form. And I think he's going to be just a confidence player, as I think Bree is probably as well. That he needs to get something going, like Kelman has been as well. But what did you make of that's the only thing is that when you haven't got Kelman to come on, you haven't got a Kelman to come on. You haven't got anyone that you think like, oh, this is really going to spice it up. Who impressed you from the bench?
I think they just come on and they just done a job. I think that they just did what was required. Gillespie saw out the game in that game. I'll have less better words for him for his performance against Blackburn. But Carey's just been a bit frustrating the last few months, hasn't it? As you say, he's just that feels like that confidence player. And Kelman has now got that. And Carey had that at the start of the season and it's kind of like faded away since he scored that goal against West Brom. And as you said there, that chance there, I mean, if he's played that a little bit further forward for Nibs or even had a shot, it could maybe have won us that game. That's the thing. And he's got to try and rediscover that. Nibs, I felt, did well. But again, I want to see that creative aspect from him, which we haven't really seen yet since he's come in. And Tanto, again, run the line. We know what he can do coming off the bench. He's a bit of a terrier, runs at the defences and that. But I just think that, the subs did what was required, really. We saw at the point and a deserved point, really.
Yeah, I think Nibs is one of those. He looks like he's got a lot of experience. I think he's not playing at his level yet, but you're right. It's just that creative spark. Although twice he's found himself in the right place at the right time. More importantly, what was your hangover cure? Because I'm of a certain age now, and hangovers are literally one of the worst things that can happen to a man of my age. I had some awful ones in the lead up to Christmas, and I can't get rid of them. What were you actually going to Charlton is probably one of the best things you can do, get out in the fresh air and a little bit of disappointment. What did you do? What's your tactic?
Yeah, it was that the fresh air. I come out of my mate's van near a corner shop, and I just needed to step out because I thought I was going to be sick in the van. That was not what we wanted to see at all. But it was that. It was a Fanta, and it was half a burger outside of the ground. I tried to eat all of it, but I had half of it, and I was like, I can't eat anymore. And I gave it away. But you know what? After the burger was all I needed because I felt great after that.
Nice. So then it's the big trip up to Blackburn. Talked already about the journey and stuff. I mean, the fans were brilliant. You could hear them when I was watching it on TV. Like you always can, but they just seem fantastic. What's that vibe like? Like obviously knowing that you're probably one of the most hated men in the world when you go away because we know we're not going to win. How is that vibe? It does look great. I want to do more away games, and I gutted I couldn't get a ticket for Millwall. What is it? Just seems like just seems like a party bus, really, and they just seem to be bouncing the whole game.
It is really, because you're not on your turf. Like it's just new grounds and to tick off. I mean, I've done Blackburn before. I did it when we was last in the Championship and we won. But yeah, I mean, I just love away days because it's a new experience, but it's less fun when it's me with the record that I've got. But I'm actually unbeaten this season, so I can take that as a win. But
which
yeah,
ones have you done?
I've done Hull and Blackburn. They're both draws, but they're not losses. So
I'll fucking miles away as well. You're really picking them, aren't you? Jesus.
Yeah. The vibe. I mean, I did have it from a few people. Not have it, but I walked into the pub, for example, and the first person come up to me and said, "Oh, we're not winning now because Tyler's here," and I was like, "Here we go again. Here we go." And then I'm calling out Ben as well in this pub because he had a roast at this pub. I don't know how you feel about having a roast on an away day, but I felt that was quite strange.
That's a big. Do you know what? That's a big baller move.
It was a Sunday, so I'll give him that. But at the football, I was like,
That feels like a big dick swinging move to me. It's like, I'm having a fucking burger. I'm having a roast, mate, because I'm a real man. Yeah, fair enough. And Ben does. I've never met Ben, but he does look like he looks like a proper geezer. Like,
he's a character.
So saw the same lineup again. Were you pretty happy seeing the same sheet?
Relatively happy. I think the general noise afterwards was a lot of people were wondering why Berry was starting, which I think in hindsight, after seeing the game, probably was right to criticise it because Berry didn't have a good game at all.
No.
And then TC was probably the other sort of criticism I would have had personally. But I think in terms of lineup, I mean, I like the fact that Jones stuck with continuity and stuck with the same team for 3 games because I think we've had so many changes. So in that regard, I don't mind it. And it all started so well, as we all know. It started really, really well. And I was thinking, here we go, the streak's finally going to end. But that's what my mates were saying around me, Josh and Ben. They was like, it's going to happen. And I was like, mate, it's 2-0. Don't say anything. And then seconds later, Burt gets injured and then they concede. And then we concede. And I was like, here we go.
So, I mean, a lot happened there. I mean, Kelman's goal was brilliant, wasn't it? And you just love it. I just love seeing him on the team sheet, seeing him on the get a goal, because you're just like, this is all just feeding his confidence. And as soon as he's going to cook, I mean, I think he's 3 from 6 since he's come back. Is it 3 goals from 6 games? And then he's obviously got that sort of assist, if you like, for ranking Costello. Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, that's great form, isn't it? If we can keep him anywhere near that, he's going to have a great season.
Yeah, delighted for him. He's just needed that run, and he's finally got it. And now he's got 2 in 1 game. He's excellent. I mean, Leeburn should really have scored the first one. I mean, it's a great effort. He's hit the bar, but obviously Kelman's there in the right place at the right time. And the penalty, by the way, is not a penalty. I don't know how the ref has given that. Jones with a great Tom Daly impression, but that is never, ever a penalty. But we'll take it and shut up, and Kelman put it away. And I must say, his Clive Mendonca celebration for both of them was absolutely outstanding. And maybe
right now, I'm going to stop you there because I'll be honest with you. When he said that, I was like, did he? And then I looked, and he's got the guns the wrong way round.
He's done it like that, hasn't he? And he's supposed to do it like that, isn't it?
I feel like that might be a comment like that woke, and that might be a woke version. Like, no, put your guns down, boys. This is come on, let's have some peace. Whereas Clive was like, no, fuck you. Do you know the story of that?
Yeah, I think it was. Didn't he say it was like an academy player who scored in a training session, and then he done the celebration, and Clive was like, "Who the fuck is this kid?" And then he went, "Go on, I'll do it."
Apparently, he was dog shit, and then the whole thing. But the thing is, like, it seems to have haunted him because I saw him telling the story. It might
he said he regrets it, doesn't he?
Yeah, because it was like he was doing it to Sunderland, like almost like I'm going to shoot you, Sunderland fan. And it's like, no, it's such a sweet thing, mugging off a little trialist that's come along and he's shit. But then, so it's great. I think Charlie, I mean, if you look at what Charlie's done over Christmas, he's given all that stuff to all the kids, all those treats from the shop. And then he's done that. I mean, he's proper. He seems like he's really trying to ingratiate himself with the fans and stuff. But maybe just get the guns to like the right way up.
Yeah, it's something to work. It's something to work on. I'd love the valley, and then do it then.
I'd love to see Kaminsky make an amazing save, and then just pretend to be a statue, just to stand there really still. or smoke something because he could be stoned like a statue. Come on, Tyler. I'm a comedian. This is the stuff I'm doing. This is what I'm doing on stage. If you ever want to see this stuff in live. Yeah, so, I mean, that was great. I just loved it. I mean, regardless of how those goals came, it's just nice to see Charlie getting on the score sheet. I thought he took the penalty well. I thought it was a decent, like, sent the keeper the wrong way. I mean, it's no Taylor run up or anything like that, but he just put it away. But we were just so, I don't know what happened. I don't know if we were maybe not as good as the scoreline reflected in the first place. I think it's probably that. But we just seemed to fall apart after Burke got injured. We just couldn't seem to get rid of anything. Do you sort of put it down to Gillespie coming on?
Yeah, I think that was a part of it. I think it just derailed us really. It was strange because I mean 2-0 was the worst scoreline in football to hold on to. When we was 2-0 up, I was like, I mean Blackburn were terrible. Blackburn were not good at all. Like in the first half and even to an extent in the second half, but we just let them control the game. Like, they were just better than us, but they were not a good side. But yeah, I think at 2-0, I was sat there thinking like this ain't over yet. And then Burke went down, and it was like, here we go. And I think if Burke hadn't have gone off, I think we probably would have held on. I thought we would have held on to win that if Burke hadn't have gone off injured. And then obviously they've gone down the left. I mean, I hold TC responsible for the first goal because he just gets out muscled on that left side. He's too weak on that side. And they just put one ball in the box, and it's basically a free header. You can blame the defence for not picking up Baraji, but still, I mean, it's poor. And then in the second half, I mean, we're 2-1 up, and I was thinking, all right, cool. If we can just hold our own, play the way we did in that first half, and I think we'll be able to hold on. And we just let Blackburn control us. That was one of the worst second half performances of the season. Gillespie was absolutely terrible, to be honest. I think in all aspects, decision making, tackling, gave the ball away too many times, and it was no coincidence that their equaliser come down the left side again. We just completely fell apart. I didn't think Bell had a great game either. I felt he's great with the ball at his feet, but way too overconfident and put us in trouble too many times. And then suddenly, when Leeburn come off, we just lost all attacking like sort of effort, like because suddenly we just kept playing the ball long. He won every header in the air throughout the whole game again and did what was required of him. And a fan did give him stick after the game, which really pissed me off.
Yeah,
walking out the concourse, they were he was literally shouting like, Leeburn, he's won every header. What do you expect? He's 6'7", and I'm like, that's literally what he's being paid to do. That's literally
can't shrink him.
That is literally the job that Jones has done, and he's starting to build a decent little partnership with Kelman now. They're starting to get on with each other a bit more. But once he come off, we just kept playing long ball, and we just could not get anything down. And there was a couple of chances in the second half that we had. I think Doc had one that was deflected, and then Leeburn got put through on the keeper, which he saved. You know, there was a few that we had, but ultimately we just looked again just toothless up front. And Blackburn, to be honest, deserved that point with the way they played in the second half, and they were lucky. I mean, it looked like in that second half there was only one team that was going to go on and win it, and it was Blackburn. Once they equalised, I was like, they're going to win this now, and because we just didn't have anything. The second Leeburn come off, it was done, and the subs killed it as well because we changed the midfield too quickly. Rankin Costello coming off was the wrong decision.
Yeah, he must have just been done. Like, that's the only thing.
I mean, he's played 3 games in the space of a week and a half. So yeah, he's probably knackered. But yeah, all of the subs were terrible, to be honest. None of them did well.
None of them sort of leveled us up, do they? And and you know, I can sort of understand Apter not coming on when Miles is coming off, because like he's the perfect player to get the ball into Leeburn. As soon as their first goal went in, it was proper squeaky bum time. I was like, the momentum's changed completely. They took it so well, and we just seemed to be a bit toothless. And I don't know if it's just we were knackered, because, like you said, he played the same team pretty much 3 games in a row, and you got a lot of players there. I think it's almost harder for Costello because he hasn't got the minutes into his legs before that. But then change it up. Like, I understand we had such a good performance against Coventry, and you saying there you're not surprised about the team sheet. I wasn't either, but I wasn't happy with it because I was like, what does that have to do to start? Why does TC keep starting rather than coming on? And if Bree's on free kicks again, we know none of them's going to come off. So I remember when Charlton, like one of our best, I think it was a season or 2 ago, we scored. I think it may be when Stockley and Innis probably were both in the team. And maybe even more recently than that, our set pieces were one of the most dangerous elements of our game. We seem to have completely lost that, and we don't seem to be delivering on any of it. I think you just put that down to Bree and not being able to get the ball in the box. And I don't think we've really had a speciality kind of deliverer of the ball since Taylor, maybe. But even then, Coventry's come in and had a few good ones. Apter seems like the perfect foil for that, and especially playing the way you're playing. The thing I can see with Gillespie playing, like you said about Bell, he runs, he holds onto the ball. What Gillespie does do is get the ball to the big man up top every time. That's all he's trying to do. So I can kind of see why Jones likes him in that sense. But if you're playing Kelman up top with Miles, and Miles is massive, why wouldn't you want to play a player like Apter that can get it on a sixpence pretty much every time? I just don't understand. If that's your tactic, play the players that you've got there to do that. Even if it's Bree on one side who hasn't been delivering, but maybe he'll come good again, and Apter on the other side just to screw up their defence and have to spread themselves wider. I just can't understand it.
Yeah, I think it's the one criticism that fans have of Jones that I think is to an extent justified in that, changes probably are needed in terms of, I mean, we know he's not going to change the system, and I don't blame him for that because that's his system, that's the way he plays, and that got us promoted. And it works. It got us promoted. It's just the problem of, are the players performing well enough, or are the players playing in the right sort of positions in that system? So it kind of begs the question, like, why aren't changes being made? I mean, ultimately, we've had such a congested fixture list. Rankin Costello probably was knackered and needed to come off. So it begs the question as, why was he starting in the first place? But then again, he played really well. I think he was probably the best of the midfielders and one of the best players in the team. But it begs the question as to why changes aren't being made. I mean, and we keep going back to Apter. I mean, why is he not playing? I mean, it just seems so simple because he just every single time will get the ball on the wide area and cross it in the box. And you've got Leeburn there who can win the header, who can either direct it towards the goal or knock it back for Kelman or Carey or someone, whoever's there to get a goal. It sounds so simple, but it's just something we're not seeing at the moment. And it's just, I don't know. I think some changes need to be made. And at the moment, the way we're looking right now, as we'll come on to, I think it just emphasises how important January is in how we need to just bolster this squad and just need to bring in players. Because at the moment, some of these players are not performing at the level that's required. And some of them, to be honest, quite simply aren't really at it for this level, quite plain and simply.
And I think the big thing you mentioned there is Jones getting criticism. I mean, even my dad was saying, I don't know about this, Joe. Like, this could be it for Jones after that run. I was like, there is no way you can look at that guy who's taken us from the 19th in League One to the Championship and looking like maybe stable and think that he's got to leave. You can definitely criticise his choices. You can say, I'd rather play this guy than that guy. I'd rather swap this around, because that's what makes football fun, really. That's part of it. Fun. And we've all got our own opinions. We've all seen different things. He's the one who's in the training ground, seeing these guys week in, week out. He knows what he's got. So in Jones, we trust, but he's not above criticism. No one is.
No.
But for me, that just seems like such a fundamental thing. I would love for him to come out. I don't want to say come out honestly, because he's never going to give anything away, and rightly so. I don't think he should. I don't think he owes it to anyone. But it'd be just good to know what the reasoning is behind it. I reckon it could be something as simple as Bree's got to get a certain amount of appearances or play a certain amount of minutes for him to commit to us afterwards. Absolutely fine. Just tell us it. It was only the other day that we found out his loan's until the 17th of January. So like everyone thinking that he's going on the 31st of December, like now we're like, we've got another 4 weeks of him. Brilliant. But just make that clear. Just tell us. Like, there's no reason not to. How was the drive home after that anyway? Did it feel like a bit of did that feel like a defeat and Coventry feel like a win? Or
it did have that sort of vibe. I think we were saying in the car back, like, it would have felt a lot better if we'd have won that. But I think we were all pretty sleep deprived, so it was going to be a pretty tiresome journey home back on. But we made fun of it. We played a lot of games on the way back, doing our combined 11. We were doing combined 11s actually, all of us doing combined 11.
What a good idea for a game. Hang on, combined game 11 or fantasy 11.
We were doing combined 11 drafts of so for example, if one person picked one player, the rest of us couldn't, and we had to build our best teams for loads of different categories. And we were doing that on the way home and had a Burger King as well. So it was quite an enjoyable journey home, to be fair. We made fun of it, but it did feel like a defeat, and a lot of fans were coming away from that quite pissed off with quite a few players. And I did, another fan annoyed me with what he said about Jones, because Jones obviously come over to, lift his hands up and, because he's apologising to the fans for that. And one fan come up to me and took it as if Jones was having a go at the fans and I was like, how can you and I said, no, he's apologising. He's like, I hope it's that, because I drove 9 hours back here and back to get there. And I was like, mate, come on. Like, I mean, I've seen a lot of criticism of Jones, and obviously that is justified. But those calling for his head is just completely stupid. And I have seen fans that are calling for his head. I know some are like, "Where's that come from?" I've seen fans that have called for his head.
It's mental. It just doesn't make any sense, because you just wonder what are you looking for? Who are you looking to come in? Do you want Garner again? Do you want Dean Holden? Do you want, like, what are you? We probably would attract a better manager now, but look at United. Like, it's not an easy thing to get a manager that is going to run your team well the way you want it to be run.
It would put us in an even worse position than we are in now if we were to sack him. I mean, for starters, he's got a contract until 2030, so we've got to pay him off massively. So that's already a dent. Then we've got to appoint the manager and we've got to pay him. And then that manager has then got to come in to a team and a system that is not his. He's got January to implement that system and change it, and it just could be an absolute disaster. So Jones is totally the right man. Not above criticism, but sacking him would put us in an even worse decision. And to be honest with you, would probably relegate us.
I genuinely think that if we go down with Jones, I don't think there would have been any other outcome with any other manager. I just don't think that there's anyone you could put in there now that is guaranteed to get you a better finishing spot than Jones. Like, even if he played up to every game, like, I don't think that's the answer. I think doing what Nathan Jones is doing is probably the best that we can absolutely hope for at the time. And let's look, like we have all said from the beginning, there is no Charlton fan I've spoken to that has said they wouldn't take 21st this season.
Exactly.
And we're 19th. So we're sitting above the predict where you want to be. I think it's just we had probably 5, 6, maybe 7 performances where we played so well that everyone just raised their expectation levels to a ridiculous amount, including, like, I won't say including myself, because I was just loving it. I was just really enjoying it, and I was getting on the bandwagon. I was like, we're going to definitely finish in top 10. I did get carried away, but I wasn't like, and if we don't, well, I'm bloody throwing away my ticket. It's just, it was nice to enjoy it while it happened. And I think ultimately we all just knew this was going to, you can't finish 21st and not be in a relegation battle. That's what 21st means. Like, what are you hoping for?
Exactly. I mean, if the season ended right now, we're taking 19th any day of the week. 100%. Like, we're taking that. And even if you look at the table, we're 6 points off Derby in 13th. Like, things can change very quickly. So it's like it swings and roundabouts in it with this league. But ultimately, we're 5 points above the drop. It's not ideal. It's not comfortable. It could have been a lot more, because in the last 5 games, we've played the 4 teams below us, bar Sheffield Wednesday, and we've got 4 points from it. We should really be looking at, well, you could easily have said Blackburn, we should have won. Pompey should have got a point. Norwich could arguably have been a point as well. So that's a minimum of 5 points that we've dropped in those games where we should have done a lot better, which would have made things a lot more comfortable. But ultimately, we're 19th, and we'll take it.
It is, man. It's so frustrating that it has to be, it's all or nothing. It's either he's the best in the world or he's the worst in the world. Like, we're doing exactly what we thought. And like we keep forgetting, we've got a game in hand as well, which, if you win that, lifts us up to 32 points. That's where Sheffield United are. Sheffield United! Like, we're Charlton. I mean, we've been in League One for 4 years. Sheffield United were in the Prem in that time. Like, it's like we're 1 point off of 2 points off West Brom. We're above Blackburn Rovers, like, and above Norwich. Like, what are you hoping for? This is that is the mental thing for me. God, we've done 40 minutes just ranting. That's pretty good, isn't it? Let's come on to the transfer window then, because we're well into January. The only rumour I've really heard a lot about is Dykes.
Yes.
Tyler, this is what we've been missing. We want Tyler's updates. I haven't given you any prep for this, but is there anyone you're looking at? Is there anyone you've heard about? Is there anyone you definitely don't want? Because for me, Dykes sounds like, I don't know a lot about him, a big striker that doesn't really score goals. That's what Miles is doing. That's what Gassan done. Yeah. So why is it? Is that he the answer? I know he's got a lot of experience, but is that who we really want coming in?
Yeah, I've seen a lot of rumours. I think Dykes is the big one. I mean, it's obvious that we're after a striker, and I think Dykes is really to just take the workload off of Leeburn, because the guy's knackered, like he's doing. And ultimately, Dykes is exactly that. You've described him perfectly. Big striker who can't score. That's basically what it is. And he's not playing for Birmingham, which is what we've discussed there. Signing players that haven't played rather than players that elevate us. I don't think Dykes would improve us in terms of an experience. Okay, we'll take his experience, but his goal record doesn't exactly, speak volumes. And as you say, he hasn't been playing. But it's mainly to just take the workload off of Leeburn. And in a sense, in terms of the system that we play, he would fit the bill, because he is the big man to win those headers. But ultimately, I mean, I know a lot of Charlton fans are saying, oh, why do we need a goal scorer? We need a creative outlet. We need a goal scorer. It's as simple as that. Charlie Kelman hopefully will be that. But I think he needs the service, and ultimately 7 goals between the 4 strikers still isn't good enough for this at this stage in the season. So we do need someone who can hit the back of the net. We never know. Dykes could come in and he could hit flying colours and start scoring goals for us. We don't know that, but I think in terms of a Jones striker, what he wants from this team, Dykes fits the bill. But it's just whether he's not. It's not an inspiring choice, is it really? But it's to take the workload off of Lieberman, which I can't say I'm against. So there's pros and cons to us signing Dykes, I think.
And is there anyone else you're kind of looking at, aware of, what hopeful of?
The ones
any of the news?
The ones I've seen, I think we've been linked with Cody Drama, who plays for Hull. He's a right back stroke wing back, which is a position that we do need. Again, I think a similar sort of position to Dykes, really. He's not playing at Hull when he wants out. So it's an opportunity. I think we was linked with him in the summer, actually, before he went to, I don't know if he joined Hull in the summer. I'm not sure, but I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm not sure. But he wants out of Hull is basically what I've seen. And we're linked with him among a few other clubs. So we'll see how that progresses. I suppose I wouldn't mind him. It's an option, isn't it, to deal with the Bree situation that we've got. And then apparently the Japanese guy that we've been linked with, Fukada, apparently he's staying in Japan. So that one's off the table as well, which I'm not too upset about because I mean, it's an exciting player and the record of Japanese players coming to the championship and smashing it is brilliant. But it's a lot of pressure on a player's shoulder who ultimately has never played in England and doesn't speak English. So it's like, there's pros and cons to that one. But yeah, Dykes and Drama is probably the two that I've seen mostly. I don't know how solid they are. Dykes seems the most realistic, but I don't know when that's going to happen or if that will happen.
So hard, isn't it? Because everyone that we're mentioning, you want a left or right back, you want a centre back, you want a striker. I do get it. We've got those players in the building. We've got them in the squad. Like if Apter was playing and playing well, or I know ifs, buts, and maybes, but if Joshua Edwards wasn't injured, or if he comes back, and you don't know exactly when he's going to come back. You've got Godden there. He's not. It doesn't look like he's coming back anytime soon, by the sounds of it. But like you said, Kelman he's scoring goals. It doesn't. I don't know if there's going to be a quick fix unless you go a level up. And for me, that's the only way you're going to get that is someone who's at the top of the champ and not playing, someone at the bottom of the Prem who's not playing, or a loan from a top Premier League club like we have with Conor Gallagher or whatever. But those are the ones that are really hard to know about because it's probably you don't know about them because they're not playing. That's why not getting in. Fofana's the only one that I really feel like he's played games, he's done really well. We should have got him, we didn't. That's the only one that I've kind of know about that feels like a big regret. Because even the ones he's signing aren't playing. Like Hernandez came in, was shit, not done anything, and been dropped out. We're not even counting him as a possibility for playing that position anymore. He's not even getting on the bench. And then we've got the other lad who's not even got in the. I think he's got in one squad or maybe two. So it's obviously not easy. I don't know. Obviously, this is why they're paid the money they're paid because it's not an easy thing to answer. But it's fun. It is fun, isn't it? Looking at all the rumors and seeing what comes up. I mean, for me, like the best players ranking Costello is probably one of the best signings we made based on the last couple of games. Didn't even know he'd signed until like a few months. I saw it pop up and I was like, really? Because it was like one of the most expensive signings we made, but then we made another one 2 days later. I was like completely forgotten about him. So sometimes it's nice just to. It's lovely talking about the rumours and stuff. There's nothing better than turning up on a Saturday, seeing a name you've never seen before. They play, and then they're like, "Oh shit, where did this guy come from? He's amazing."
That's the joys of the transfer window, isn't it? Talking about players that who you're going to get, who you link with these players, and you go, "No, I don't want him. No, I'd have him." And then you get someone that wasn't even rumoured and didn't even know we were rumoured with. So that's the swings and roundabouts of the January window, particularly some of the transfer window, particularly in January, because you just never know. You never know who's available in January.
And if they're available in January, there's got to be a reason why. Even more importantly, outs. We spoke about a few of them last week. Has anything changed for you on that? I mean, I think the only way you raise the funds to get a player that would really affect our squad is to lose one of the rising stars. A Lieberman, TC, or one of the lads, an Imbic or Kanu. The other one's Casey. So Casey scored 5 goals in 4 games for Dorking. I only know about Dorking because I think their manager's hilarious. Do you know much about Dorking? So he's the guy who owns the club and has taken him from like a Sunday league team up into league 2, or maybe is it so the one just below that?
Yeah, he got them to the National League. I think they got relegated recently, so I think they're back in the National League South. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah. He took them to the National League.
But again, Casey's another one that really don't know much about, other than that he was, doing all right in the under-21s or whatever, and now seems to be scoring for fun. Why can't our players do it for us? What's wrong with that?
I don't know. It's a question we always seem to ask, isn't it, when it comes to like academy players that go on loan and smash it. But yeah, I think it's a good point about the about January. Potentially needing to sell to buy in terms of actually improving the team rather than just adding bodies who aren't playing. Because that's the difficulty of the window. But if Jones is going to be very cutthroat, he said he's not going to be sentimental apparently in the window. So clearly, a decision like that, letting go of someone like TC or Leeburn or recalling Bick or Kanu and selling them, is potentially on the cards. So we'll see what that goes. But I think we discussed it, didn't we? I think if we was to lose, for me, if we lost TC today, I don't think I'll be too disheartened as long as the price was right and it was reinvested.
Yeah. I think that's the big thing, isn't it? They're the only ones that I can see you getting a decent fee for. I don't know if you remember, but about 4 or 5 of maybe our second or third episode, I was saying, yeah, but what happens if Palace come in with a £5 million bid for Sonny Carey? What do we do then? Yeah, maybe that's not as possible as we thought.
Yeah.
It is the fun. It's the fun in games. Next game. Let's think about the next game. So we've got Chelsea, who were hoping for they obviously saw us coming and then thought we need to do a new manager bounce.
Yep.
Get that going. And it's a 1-1 with City after that. So maybe they look good. We battered Chelsea like so many times. I've so many good games against them. What have you got your ticket? Are you looking forward to? What do you take from a game like this? Because obviously United was the last one, and it was kind of the beginning of the end for Dean Holden. It all kind of went a bit downhill after that, after we got beaten 3-0 by them. Is it just a fun day out? For me, like I saw we got them and I wasn't that bothered, because I was like, it's not like we're going up there and we're not going to get. I don't even think we've sold out yet. I don't think we've sold.
No, I don't think we have either.
So what is it? Just a bit of the thing about the FA Cup, and the reason I was so annoyed to go out of the other cup we were in, was that this is a great opportunity for all these players we've got to get minutes, and the FA Cup now is the next one, and we've got Chelsea, so we're probably going to get one game in that where we're probably going to want to play our best 11 to try and make a. But is that? We're probably not going to beat them. If we do, we're probably not going to win the next game. We're in a relegation battle, regardless of whether or not we want to admit it. Like, we want to get a bit further up the table, so we've not got to worry about it. What do you do as manager if you're sitting in Nathan Jones' seat? What lineup do you go with? Do you go with the strongest 11 you can put out, or do you try and get some of the players that haven't been playing some minutes?
I'd like to see him go for it, to be honest. I think the day is mainly for the experience, because we haven't played Chelsea in so long, and let's be realistic here, we're probably not going to play Chelsea again for a number of years. And we've had obviously great memories against Chelsea, and I think it's been so long since we've had a tie like this. We've always complained in cups, where we've always played against the League One or the League Two sides and the non-league sides, and we play a weaker team out and they do us, because of it. So I would like to see us go full strength. Ultimately, we don't have another game for a week after that, so there's an opportunity for those players to play and then rest and then go again. Whereas Chelsea, I think, have got us, and then in midweek they've got Arsenal in the Carabao Cup semi-final, so they're probably going to put more emphasis on that game. So Liam Rosenior might put a slightly weaker team out against us, but then again, he probably wants to suss his team out. So I could imagine Chelsea maybe going half and half, going full strength, and also some players that he wants to suss out. But I think it's mainly for the day, really. It's an experience for me. I've never seen us play Chelsea personally, so I'm really looking forward to it. Going to be a good day. I hope we go for it. I'm expecting to lose, but I think as long as we put in the same performance we did when I went to Old Trafford and we played Man United, which was just maximum effort, just got stuck in and played. They obviously beat us 3-0, but it weren't a 3-0 scoreline. If we did that against Chelsea, I'd take that any day of the week, and just mainly for the experience and an opportunity for these players to show what they can do against the top side, which I think we haven't really seen in a long time. So yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But yeah, go full strength for me. Just go for it. Why not?
Like you said, there's some amazing games. Brian Hughes scoring a penalty to take us in the next round of, I think it was the Carabao Cup. but he was rubbish, Brian Hughes. Like, he was a hero for a day and he was crap the rest of the time. He was sort of coming in as the new Scott Parker as well. Shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I mean, it'll be exciting. It'll be a good. I'm sure it's 8 o'clock on a Saturday as well. God knows what that means. And can I ask you? So, talking about next games coming up, the Millwall game away, I haven't been able to get a ticket. What? I don't know whether to go. I want to go to a pub to watch it because it's the day before my birthday. If anyone's got any good ideas of what pub to go, but I know the River Ale House is run by Joe Puddifoot. I know that would be good, but also, I've never been there. I don't know whether to go to like Red Dog in London Bridge or go to like a Charlton pub like the Bugle and watch it there, or go to Millwall, like not a Millwall pub, but a pub closer to Millwall where Charlton fans might be. If anyone's got any good ideas of where to go for my birthday, can you please let me know? Where are you going to be watching it?
Probably at home, to be honest, just having a few tinnies indoors. I mean, the game is almost certain to be televised. Surely they're not going to.
It's 12:30 on a Saturday. You'd hope so.
Yeah, it'll be televised. And if it's 12:30 on a Saturday, it'll be televised. But yeah, I think I'm just going to sit indoors and have a quiet one. But I also missed out on tickets, which was a shame because the loyalty point. I mean, obviously the loyalty point system is what it is. I haven't got enough. But yeah, I'll be going to Leicester the week after that, so that'll be good. But yeah, Millwall is I think one we're all looking forward to, especially considering where we should have done them last time, but we didn't.
It's really frustrating as well. I went on the website and it said, tickets have not said tickets available, but it looked like there's tickets available, and it's only the in the disabled section there's like
the wheelchair users. Yeah.
And I was like, I don't mind assisting someone. I'll assist anyone who wants a hand. I'll bring anyone down. So yeah, that was a little bit of a glimmer of hope. And then my mate's a Millwall supporter, and he was like, "I'll probably get you a ticket." I was like, "There's no way I'm sitting in the home end at a Millwall game.
No chance.
Not doing it. It's not worth it. There's no I did it once. Stupidest thing I've ever done at a Charlton game was we were so shit for such a long time, and a load of my mates were really riding high on the Palace thing, and they were all going to Charlton away. And I was like, "Oh, that sounds like fun." And they always had a good time. So I was like, "I'll sit in the away end with you. That'll be a laugh." Honestly, terrifying. A Charlton supporter, I'm not lying, right? And there's always this thing of our fans are the best. There was a Charlton supporter walking along with all the Charlton fans, and I was walking in with my mates. So I was with the Palace fans. Very weird. I've said a lot of treacherous things on this show. This is probably the worst one. There's a Charlton fan walking past, picked up a handful of horse shit in his hand and threw it at the Palace fan. And I was like, this isn't representative of us. You can't turn around and say that. I was so mad. And I was in the Palace bit, obviously, and I was like, this is fucking terrible because we were getting beaten because they're a Premiership team as well. Didn't think about that. And there's Palace fans, they're all singing these Palace songs. I was sort of there a bit miserable. And he walked up, all making sure everyone was singing. And I was like, oh my God, I'm going to get killed here. This is fucking terrifying. So don't do that. Don't do that. It's not a good idea. Just sit with your friend, your family.
Just shows how much football's changed, isn't it?
Oh my God. So comments from let's go through a few of the comments from last week. There was a couple of interesting ones I wanted to pick out. I haven't labelled them up properly, so they'll be exciting when we go up. From here, madam, it's Mannion time. Kaminsky has made enough mistakes to be dropped, too slow to react to the winner. He was like he's running in treacle. Now, I've heard it a few times about Kaminsky, and we know how good Mannion was, just so dominant in the box. This obviously came out after our last show, so the two games have happened in between. What have been your thoughts on Kaminsky? Because for me, I think at the beginning of the season, he wasn't really tested, so no one could really judge him. And then he made a few good saves. He will make mistakes. He's still a key, he's still a huge, there will be mistakes he's made. But I think he's kept us in more games than he's lost us points on, if you know what I mean. What are your thoughts on it?
Yeah, definitely. I get the criticism that his kicking is not very good, which is still a problem. And his ability to command his box is not as strong as Mannion was. But where Kaminsky lacks in those areas, he makes up for in shot stopping, and that's where Mannion lacks. I mean, ultimately, some of the shots that Kaminsky has saved, Mannion is not saving, in my opinion. And I think those saves have kept us in games more times than not. And I think those that have suggested that Mannion is a better keeper than Kaminsky is just completely and utterly stupid, to be honest. I think Kaminsky is by far the better keeper. I mean, there's a reason why we signed him. Yes, he's got a mistake in him, which is natural for a goalkeeper. Maybe at his level and his experience, he shouldn't be making them. And considering the money he's on, apparently he's the most paid player at the club. But I think he's done a lot better than some people are making out to be. Some of the saves he's pulled off, as you said, I mean, he's kept us in games, really. And I think Coventry was one of them. I think he pulled off some really good saves in those games. A double save, a smart save to the left. You know, we would have lost that if it weren't for him. And I don't have any confidence in Mannion making those saves that he did. So I think we'd have lost more points if Mannion was in goal, to be honest. So yeah, rate Kaminsky a lot.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think as well, like I really like Mannion, and I actually think it was him and Gillespie that won us the final. If you look at it, like there were so many times when that ball got played in the box, and you're like, oh shit, it's going to fall to Calvin, and just took it so easily. And like it was one of the most boring games of football I think Charlton have ever been involved in. It was the final. It was terrible, but that was one of the reasons, because every time ball went in the box, it just picked it up and loved it. But I think this is where we missed the cups, because I think players like Mannion at least need to be playing games. We can't afford to lose him, because then you've only got Ash as the second keeper, who I don't think is a championship level keeper.
No.
So yeah. Next one was from HR Crab. Nice to know people are sharing their venereal diseases on their Twitter handles. That's good. I don't know all the fuss about X had left it much later in the season to make it difficult for themselves than we might be expected. They look to be really working hard and undo all the hard work they put in early doors, but who knows, another good run, we might have to go through this all again next season too. I think what he's alluding to there is that don't get carried away. Basically what we said earlier, like we're in 19th, but we would have all taken that. It is interesting though that this season is following last season pretty much identically. Like Josh gets injured, we go on a really bad run. What you hope is that when Josh comes back, we pick it up again. I guess do you hope for that? Because I mean, if that happens, we get in the playoffs again.
Well, there's the not getting carried away. But yeah, I think when Edwards comes back, I mean, he's been a massive role in that team, isn't it? So I think him coming back, he's just that player that can just run up and down the pitch constantly. So good attackingly, can put balls in the box, and defensively is Mr. Reliable. And he showed that at the start of the season. So yeah, when he comes back, I'm hoping that things are going to return to sort of normality and form hits again. Maybe not to the extent of last season, because last season's form uprise was stupid. But you never know. We'll see what we can do when he is back. But yeah, I've got a lot of confidence in us again when Josh is back. It's been a big miss.
Time for one more as well. Charlie Jarrett. Hi Tyler and Sam. You two are good analysts for our club. In general, we're banging trouble. I'm sad to say, no creativity. We need signings. The creativity issue has been one that we've spoken about pretty much since Jones has come in. It was a big thing that we all kind of picked up, I think, last summer, and it kind of has carried on this summer. What I'd say is that Carey, Costello, Apter are all very creative players.
Yeah.
Like they're all players in there that can do that. We just don't seem to be able to get the best out of them until Costello came in. And when Carey, I mean, I don't know, what would you call Carey? Would you call him a creative player, or would you call him just a box-to-box midfielder who can score goals?
I think I would call him a creative player, mainly because of how advanced he is. But in the last few games, we haven't really seen that. In terms of like creating chances and playing a good ball, or even having a shot. Really, he's just kind of, I don't know, just sort of been there. I don't know how I'd describe Carey, to be honest. But yeah, I think I would put him in the creative category. You would think anyway, alongside ranking Costello and Apter, and even Nibs. You'd even throw in that equation, but Nibs has also not been that creative this season, to be honest.
Yeah, would that be what is top of your shopping list? Is it a striker, a left or right back, a centre back, or a creative player?
Wing backs is the big one. We just haven't got the depth, really, and then we're playing players in the wrong positions, and some performances levels have dropped. So that's the big one for me. And then centre back in terms of depth, striker in terms of depth, and then potentially a creative option in midfield, but that would probably depend on someone leaving. I think we discussed Karoy going on loan. Maybe that's something we do have to look at if we want to improve this team and get a bit more creativity, because Carey and Nibs ultimately aren't doing it at the moment. And Berry should not be starting as our third choice last resort. As much as I do like the guy, he shouldn't really be starting in the Championship. So the fact that he's getting ahead of Carey and Nibs shows there's a massive problem in terms of creativity, and that does need to be addressed, but at the expense of someone leaving, which is Jones's decision.
I think Carey, Berry's are probably our biggest shit house. I think that's what he's best at.
Yeah,
he's winding and tying down, trying to get penalties, that kind of thing. I actually think he had a better shout for the penalty than Jones had when he got taken out really early on. I think there's a place for him, but yeah, he shouldn't be signed. Right, we've run out of time. Thank you so much again. we're going to start very shortly an education for Tyler about his terrible all-time 11. Get your keeper suggestions in. There are obvious ones that I've got ready to go. I want to bring 3 very good cases that can rule head over heart. And we know Tyler thinks that the greatest keeper to ever play for Charlton, be quiet, Tyler, is Dylan Phillips. That's the greatest. No one better than that. Who do you think's better? Have you heard of any? Maybe you've seen a statue outside the club. Maybe there's someone who saved the penalty to get us into the Premiership. Who knows? Get in your suggestions.
I can probably name the 3 you're thinking of as well.
But yeah, we'll start that when we have the time. We'll probably be back after the Chelsea game.
Yeah.
So you got a bit of time to get in then. And yeah, we look forward to seeing you again next week.
See you guys then.
Like and subscribe. Have a lovely week.